Well, what a week it's been in professional wrestling. It's the NLW Podcast, and yeah, as the title says, we're going to be talking about some very interesting developments in the world of wrestling. But before we do get into that, we'll go through what I'm working on, some wrestling figure news, and then we'll get into the meat of the wrestling news, and also some highlights from my trip at Clash of the Castle, as well as, you know, the standard patron shouts-outs and NLW updates. But we'll get right into what I'm working on before I talk about any of the news in professional wrestling. Not a lot, really. I've just finished Revival, so that is up on Patreon now for like $3. So if you want to go and support that, check it out, you can do so. But aside from that, I'm not really working on a lot. I think that I've kind of not got burnt out, but really I'm just trying to recover from such a lengthy filming process. So with Revival, it was like the barbed wire match and the lethal lockdown match. They took quite a bit of time off my schedule. That was like during the time when my camera broke as well, so there was a little bit of stress with that. So I filmed Revival. It's almost ready. No, it is ready, in fact. It's on Patreon right now. I'm almost ready to start filming the Road to Wrestlemania. I've already filmed episode 105 of NLW, so that'll be coming up the end of October, probably after Revival's being uploaded. And then it just continues on with WrestleMania build, and then the big show itself, WrestleMania, that's going to be quite a big project to overcome, but I'm looking forward to the challenge. In terms of what I'm working on for this channel, I'm working on making a video for Clash at the Castle, where I kind of show you highlights of my trip and stuff like that, with kind of voiceover to it, so that'll be coming up on the channel, hopefully this week, if not next week. But then I'm just kind of reorganising some stuff in my room, reorganising some sets. I want to film another NLW 24/7 show for you guys on Patreon as well. And if you are listening and you are on Patreon, then this is just kind of a reminder to, let me know your suggestions for matches and things in line with your tiers, because it's difficult for me to kind of get in contact with everyone at once. But if you come to me with ideas and video suggestions, that's what Patreon gives you the benefit to do. So take advantage of that. But yeah, as well, I've got some really cool match requests in the pipeline as well from Patreon people that I'm trying to get done in the near future. So should be exciting stuff. In terms of other things going on, really, that's about it, really, because I'm just trying to, usually after a big pay-per-view, like the Royal Rumble, for instance, or TLC even, that I did, I just kind of need to take a break from animating for a while. So I've kind of taken a break from filming for like a week or two, especially with my trip. And I'll talk about my trip, actually, a little bit once we get into the wrestling news. But we'll go on to figure news, because that's what we usually do here on the podcast. Figure news. What's been kind of shown up in the pipeline? We've got some news of AEW Unrivaled coming up for pre-order. So we got like Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford coming out. We've also got a Thunder Rosa Lights Out match exclusive from ringside, which looks really cool. And also Excalibur has been put up for pre-order, so now that's all of the AEW announcers. We've seen Elite 30, or Elite 98, I should say, with the likes of Rick Boogs, the Demon Finn Balor, and Mandy Rose, which looks pretty cool. And again, the pre-orders for the Mattel creations continue to ship, but another update, I have still not got mine, which is a bit of a shame, because I've been waiting to do a video on it, or at least use the ring. I definitely want to use that ring for WrestleMania, but also just, I'm just excited to have something come in the mail, because I've not been buying figures recently, just really been trying to be frugal with my money, and, I did put some figures up for sale, but they're not really going, so if there is any figures that you're interested in buying, then just hit me up on Instagram if you're from the UK, but I do try and kind of limit my spending on the wrestling figure stuff at the moment. We'll see when Black Friday comes around in November what happens, but yeah, I feel like all the figures I've got at the moment are good for Fedding, so I don't really need to buy any of the new ones yet, even as tempting as it is. But what did we also see? We actually saw the Wrecking Rig. There was actually a big Wrecking Rig at the Clash at the Castle, which is pretty cool, in the Smith stand, and we've also got a forklift Brock Lesnar Wrecking playset, which looks quite interesting. Might consider getting that one. It would be good for backstage skits and stuff like that. But what else in figure news? Not a lot, really. Not a lot. Just the kind of AEW figure reveals as well that we saw over the weekend. So I'll try and get them up on Ringside, actually, because there were a couple of cool ones that I saw in that one. So we'll type in ringside here just to have a look at the reveals. So we saw at this fan fest here a lot that was revealed about future lineups. So we've got the likes of Alex Reynolds, Claudio, Tony, William Regal, Yuta, like so many cool figures like Kyle O'Reilly, Brandon Cutler, and who else have we got here? We got the likes of Swerve. They look like they're adding more people now into their Unrivaled collections, like 7 now it looks like. Danhausen looks cool. The Abaddon as well. And the Ring of Honor CM Punk actually looks pretty cool. That'll be a good one to get. The Hook images have been released. And just more kind of pre-orders, including this King of Hearts Owen Hart figure, which looks really sick. Like from the Stampede days. A really cool looking figure. And of course the... oh yeah, look at this Brody figure. This unmatched suited Brody looks really, really sick. And again, another unmatched Owen Hart on display here. Looks really cool. So again, it's a really tempting purchase for me to want to buy all of these figures. But again, I'm just going to have to wait and see what the kind of money coming in really. They are tempting, but I want to try and use the figures that I've got at the moment. So that's all the wrestling figure news really. A lot of cool reveals over on the AEW side of things. Let's talk about wrestling news. All right, we'll start off with the positives, okay? We'll talk about AEW later, but we've got Clash at the Castle. So I went, a really, really fun experience. We were right at the very tippy top of the Principality Stadium, and the view really wasn't that bad. Like, you could kind of see shapes. You couldn't really make out faces, but, in terms of like an experience, a viewing experience, really not too bad, considering it was like literally the worst seats in the house, but it was still fun to be there. And, the crowd was electric the whole night. I had so much fun. Like, I think my pop of the night personally was for Edge. Getting to see Edge in person was something that I never expected to see in, like, me being a wrestling fan for all these years. I didn't think I'd ever be able to see Edge wrestle. So that's kind of one of the things ticked off my bucket list. I think it's pretty cool. The whole show was really fun. The only thing that kind of sucked was the ending. I think that everyone in the arena was kind of expecting Drew to win, and I guess... it's a bit of a swerve that kind of let a lot of people down. And I think there's something to be said about killing the territory, so to speak, where, I don't know, if Drew's not winning in front of 60,000 people in like his home country, it ain't happening, I don't think, which is a bit of a shame because it makes you kind of de-invest in him a little bit moving forward. But maybe it's just a timing thing. Maybe if they come back to the UK in like a year or two, he'll have his moment, which I'd hope would happen, but... honestly, I feel like now was the time to pull the trigger. Would have been a monumentous pop that I think they kind of wasted. But, Roman's reign continues. And there's no reason to have, Roman's reign end now and then just have him win the title like in 2 months. I think it was a bit of a squandered opportunity. But aside from that, still a fun show. Didn't really put a damper on the whole event for me. I thought it was really solid. And from what I've heard, people enjoyed it at home too. So... there was that. A lot of funny chants as well going around, which I appreciated. Quite entertaining to be there live. A cool experience, for sure. And I'd want to go back, definitely, if they put on an event. We also had Worlds Collide, where they had NXT UK get trounced by NXT, which is a bit of a shame, but, it is what it is. It'll be interesting to see how this NXT Europe thing shapes out. But, yeah, it's a shame that NXT UK didn't really get the love that it kind of deserved. Kind of killed the UK scene for a number of years. It's not even really recovered since, to be honest, which is a real shame. But hey, at least the likes of Mustache Mountain and all that got a platform on a bigger stage. So yeah, and Butch is on the main roster now too, so I can't really complain. And Sheamus as well. Let's talk about Sheamus having that amazing reception in his match against Gunther. I really thought that the fact that Sheamus lost meant that Drew was winning later, but I was wrong. Still, my favourite match of the whole weekend was Gunther and Sheamus, just battering each other and being there live for it as well. Seeing the response that Sheamus got was really kind of heartening, actually, because, he's one of those guys that has been around for a very long time and maybe gets underappreciated, but he's a really solid wrestler, and it's cool to see him get that kind of reception on a big stage. So props to Sheamus. And we'll talk about AEW now. Oh, man. AEW in shambles. It's such a shame. I don't really want to dwell too much on it, even though I've put it in the title. But yeah, so obviously big news coming out of it. The CM Punk media scrum felt like he had to defend himself. And I get it, if stuff's being printed about you, you kind of want to clap back. I get that kind of mentality. And at the same time, I understand that there's kind of cross wires, miscommunication really going on that seems to be the main problem in that company. And just Tony Khan just seemed to let it happen. And I'll just say one thing. I'll say what I said on my Insta, actually, because I kind of summed it up there, what my feelings about it were. So yeah, work or shoot, like this whole thing isn't compelling to me at all. It makes the company look incompetent either way, and it makes multiple top characters really unlikable. And it doesn't make me want to tune in. They say controversy creates cash, but this kind of thing just puts me off watching because I don't want to watch it. It's mean-spirited. It's horrible. If anything, it bums me out to see the state of the product it is now. Because, let's not make no bones about it. Like, the product is, I don't want to say sucked. It's not been good for the past couple of months. And, yeah, like, it's not... If it is a work, I think it's even worse. I would rather this whole thing be real, if anything, because it just... I don't know, it just makes it so weird to have this dynamic where CM Punk goes out there, he's supposed to be the top star of your company, burying everyone beneath him, and I get that they've, pissed him off, so to speak, but, man, like, and I get the kind of criticisms of Omega and the Bucks, where they could have been more forefront with their criticisms of Punk, maybe, not, picking sides over Colt and stuff like that, and getting involved in this business. Either way, to me, if it is a work, it's the most stupid thing that they could have done because it makes the whole company look stupid. Like, but if it's a shoot as well, it's bad. Like, I don't know. I don't care if I'm being worked, and I don't care if it's real. I don't know. It's just kind of sad, really, to see the state of the company that it's in, really. And I think the whole Hangman comments stuff has been blown way out of proportion. I don't think he said anything that was... I get what he means when he says he was not taking advice. It just means... I don't know, taking things with a pinch of salt, I think he meant. At least that's what I inferred. But again, like, this kind of thing can be smoothed over. And as Punk said, all it takes is just one apology just to say, hey, this is what I meant about that. And yeah, I think Punk has a right if Hangman's not explaining himself. And again, it just makes everyone seem horrible and just completely, I don't know, childish, really, that you can't sit down as adults and kind of hash out your differences. Like, you don't have to like everyone at your workplace, but you can still... I don't know, tolerate each other, Like, just don't put them in programs with each other and don't go out and bury them on TV, That's something you can do backstage with the boys, But it's just my 2 cents about the opinion. I think it hurts the product more than it helps it. Shoot or work, I don't care. I just don't think it's compelling. And it overshadows MJF's big return, which was cool at a moment in itself. But, man, it just sucks, really. I don't know. It's a real shame. But, hey, it is what it is. Really, with that company. I don't think I'll be watching Dynamite this Wednesday, or for any Wednesday moving forward, for a considerable time, until they've got their proverbial shit together. But it seems like I'm going to keep up with the rumours, no doubt about it. It's entertaining from that aspect, but like as a product on the screen, it sucks. I hate it. A real shame. The Elite versus the Dark Order was a really, really fun match. I haven't actually seen Mox and Punk yet, so I can't really judge it. The Acclaimed, oh damn, again, like the Acclaimed, like, cool and audible, man, cool and audible, have them win the titles, because I don't think Swerve and their glory is, I don't think people are going to be crying if they lose the titles now to the Acclaimed, who have been on a roll, and I think this is really going to stunt them, personally. I think this is the time, and also another bummer as well, Jurassic Express even is broken up, like Luchasaurus turning on Jungle Boy again. I don't know, I feel like it would be... I don't know, it just kind of, it's a bummer of a pay-per-view, really. Nothing really coming out of it to make you think, oh, this is exciting times for the company. It just makes you think, oh man, there's so much potential here with the roster they have that it just sucks, honestly, and it's a real shame. So we'll go on to match and wrestler of the week. My match of the week, I did say Gunther versus Sheamus, but I think I'll change that to Swerve in Our Glory versus the Acclaimed. I was hooked from start to finish. I really thought the Acclaimed had it won, and even though the result was, disappointing, I can see why they've done it. I personally would have had an audible called and said, screw it, we're putting the titles on the Acclaimed, I don't care, because the result really, I think, dampened the rest of the night because people were just disappointed, really. So Swerve in Our Glory versus the Acclaimed is my match of the night. for pure drama alone, and the fact that I never even expected it to be that good heading in, and I think the Acclaimed were made on this night. Should have been champions, man, but it is what it is. Hopefully they can bounce back from this. Wrestler of the week has to be Sheamus for getting cheered as he did and putting in a hell of a performance at Clash at the Castle. Really, really fun match. And you know what as well, I'll tell you what, Dominic Mysterio turning on Ray and Edge really had me hooked. And we'll talk about Braun Strowman, actually, because I was supposed to record this yesterday, but I didn't have the time, unfortunately. But Braun Strowman's back. I think he's a terrible person, but as a character, I'm pretty, you know what, I think he's a good character, so it's good to see him back. But do I think the guy in real life deserves it? No, but the character is fun, so, you know, it is. As they say, what it is. And I know I've said that a lot, but it's just me trying to process all of this crazy stuff that's going on in the world of professional wrestling. But yes, Sheamus is my wrestler of the week for the performance he put in, for the ovation he got when we were in the stadium. A really cool sight to see, and good to see Sheamus getting some props for once. We'll go on to the patron shouts out before I give my updates for NLW. So, a lot of new faces on the Patreon this week. Thank you to Brody, Jason Beggs, Joshua, Kid Zap, Casey Hellschool, Devon Downlin, Ryan McCarthy, Cupid, Anthony Hill, Brandon Furman, Cringe God, Yunpack Forever, Flynn Lampkin, and John. Thank you all for being patrons, for signing up. If you sign up today, you can get access to the whole show of Revival for just $3 and also request so many matches for this new series I've got coming up called XL Pro. More information on that will be on the Patreon. Just sign up today, and even for just $1 you can get access to a bunch of early access shows, including NLW 24/7 One Night Stand, which is available for just $1 on Patreon. So now's the time to go and check that out. Sign up for a month, cancel after a month, and just get the show and put a couple of suggestions and video suggestions in, and who knows, maybe your suggestion will make it onto this channel. So that's the patron shouts out. NLW Updates, what's coming up? This Saturday, NLW 24/7 presents One Night Stand, every match contested under Extreme Rules from the Hammerstein Ballroom. It's a fun show. I'm looking forward to you guys seeing it. I'm also going to be releasing the buy-in for Revival on the 17th of September. That's the pre-show. That's going to have War Machine and the Kings of Wrestling and the Fatal 4-Way for the Knockouts title. So that'll be pick-fed. And then the main card kicks off on the 24th of September. And then it will be a three-parter. So on the 1st of October will be part 2. And I think that's the Exploding Barbed Wire match. And then on part 3, which is the 8th of October, that'll be the Lethal Lockdown match. So just over a month until you can see the Lethal Lockdown match. However, you can watch it all early on Patreon for just $3. Check it out. The link is in the description. So that's what's coming up for NLW. On this channel, got some cool stuff. Hopefully going to be releasing a Clash at the Castle vlog this week and a figure collection video in the next couple of weeks too. So look out for that. Otherwise, thank you for listening once again to the NLW podcast, and I will catch you guys later.